Well, thank you all very, very much. When I say somebody has my back, I literally mean somebody has my back. As chair of the Public Safety Committee, it's my pleasure to present the proclamation in honor of the Public Safety Appreciation Day, along with my colleagues on the Public Safety Committee. Your selfless sacrifice means so much to the residents and the visitors of Montgomery County as you put your lives at risk to keep us safe and secure every day. You are the unsung heroes that are always there for us when we need you and often do not receive. In fact, I would say you never receive enough thanks or credit that you rightfully deserve. Also, I want to thank your families who give so much so their loved ones can keep our communities safe. The Council wants to and will continue providing as much support as we possibly can for you to have the tools and the resources to succeed. The drone is a first responder program, provides air support to the 911 or the police-generated calls in a safe, responsible, and transparent manner. We had this discussion just after yesterday, and we're hoping to continue to expand this program to other areas of the county based on its proven success. Lastly, I want to acknowledge those heroes who lost their lives or suffered immeasurably harm running towards danger to protect others. We thank all of you for today, for your extraordinary service. You represent the very best of who we are as a county. And I'm going to ask the people behind me to please introduce themselves. And then from the Public Safety Committee in alphabetical order. How about this? In alphabetical. Councilmember Luedtke and Councilmember Mink. It wasn't that much of an alphabet problem. And then we're going to have Dr. Stoddard speak as well. But if you all could each introduce yourselves.
Mark Yamada, Assistant Chief of Montgomery County Police Field Services Bureau.
Good afternoon. Victor Brito, Chief of Police, City of Rockville.
Mark Soroka, Chief of Police, City of Gaithersburg.
Good afternoon, Daryl McSwain, Chief of Police, Park Police here in Montgomery County.
Afternoon, John Desky, Chief of Police, Chevy Chase Village.
Gary Cooper, Interim Fire Chief.
Marcus Jones, Chief of Police, Montgomery County Police.
Earl Stiles, Chief Administrative Officer for Public Safety.
Ben Stevenson, Director, Department of Correction and Rehabilitation.
Maxwell Wee, Sheriff, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
Good afternoon, Captain Juan Portillo, Sheriff's Office.
Good afternoon, James Carpenter, Assistant Chief, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue.
Good afternoon, Eric Bernard, Executive Director, Montgomery County Volunteer Fire Rescue Association.
Kelly Mullendorf, Battalion Chief, Montgomery County Fire Rescue.
Nicole Markuski, Deputy Director, Montgomery County Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security.
D. Howard Richards, Montgomery County Fire Rescue Division Chief.
Good afternoon, Luke Hodgson with the Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security.
Good afternoon, Michael Kelly, Division Chief, Volunteer Services, Montgomery County Fire Rescue.
Christine Smargiassi, Sergeant, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
Lieutenant Maria Brown, Montgomery County Fire Rescue.
Franz Pintier, Assistant Chief, Montgomery County Fire and Rescue.
Afternoon, Anthony Scott, Battalion Chief, Montgomery County Fire Rescue.
Ed Radcliffe, Fire Rescue.
Good afternoon, Captain Mike Brickles, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office.
And could we invite the people from the Crisis Center to please join us? You are certainly a great part of what we do here in Montgomery County.
Rolando Santiago, Chief, Behavioral Health and Crisis Services, DHHS. Dornay Hill, Senior Administrator, Crisis Intake and Trauma Services, HHS.
Beth Spochnik, Manager of the Crisis Center, DHHS.
Alex Taylor, Program Manager, Street Outreach Network.
Toriano Cross, Street Outreach Network.
Alex Arevalo, Street Outreach Network.
Councilmember Luedtke, I believe you're next. Yep, there we go.
Thank you. Well, as you can see, there are many, many professionals who work with many different areas of expertise all across our public safety landscape. And it is an honor and a privilege to say thank you to all of you today. This is a group of people who, in order to do their jobs, they have to provide the same service on call 1 as they do on call 12 after encountering highly stressful situations, highly emotional situations, and they deliver day in and day out. And that's everyone from our mobile crisis folks to our call takers at our emergency call center, and everyone out in the field. It's work that didn't stop during the pandemic and couldn't stop during the pandemic and could not be done from home and can never be done from home. And they get up and they go out and they do this every single day for the betterment of all of us. And the number of people you see up here representing different disciplines, different departments, different divisions is reflective of something that's even broader within the public safety community, and I know, as Director Hodgson knows, within the Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, which is to say everyone has to come, show up, and work together and bring their voice with their different lens to help bear on the best safety outcomes for all. And they do that, and they engage in a high level of strategic planning to anticipate different situations that may occur in the community, and they assess and they reassess. And nothing is ever static or stagnant. No plan gathers dust on the shelf. Everything is constantly in motion and in flux, and it must be. So I want to thank you all for the tireless work you provide on behalf of our community every day. And it is something that I am never losing sight of in my own work. How important you all are and how we can work collectively to keep things moving forward. So thank you for all you do.
Good afternoon. I'm Kristen Mink, County Councilmember for District 5, and I'm proud to be part of the Public Safety Committee and part of the team that gets to honor these folks here today. I'm very proud to look around and see the teamwork that this county prioritizes when it comes to public safety responses. As my colleagues have mentioned, all of these elements are integral to making sure we provide the best services that we can to the community, and we are continuing to continuously evolve, gather as much data as we can about what would be the best fit, what's most appropriate, and then trying to fund those things. Which is always a difficult proposition, but we are angled in the right direction here in Montgomery County, and I know that we have the support of the community in that, and I know that we have support of all of the team members behind me in that, and so that gives me a lot of hope and a lot of pride in our county. So thank you to everyone who's here with us today for the work that you do, and for your teamwork with each other, with the council, and with the community, and look forward to continued work in that direction. Thank you all.
Good afternoon. Earl Stott on behalf of the county executive, who sends his regrets. He's actually in Korea on a trade mission and was unable to join today, but he and frankly I want to echo that this is a really important day. Our public safety responders are amongst the best among us. They go out there and risk their lives to help others every day, and we should recognize them more than just on days like this, but frankly year round. And so while we often take a lot of time to recognize our sworn and uniformed folks, whether they're our volunteer or career firefighters, our county or municipal law enforcement agencies, park police or sheriff's office or Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, I want to echo the words that we also need to recognize those people who support that network, whether it's the Street Outreach Network, our HHS crisis responders, our Vision Zero planners and responders, the Family Justice Center. There are a lot of people who apply efforts to try and prevent or address the underlying causes of crime, violence, or trauma that do the work that don't often get heralded in the same way. So it's important that we recognize them and those who risk their lives as well. Again, not just on days like this, but year round. Last year I went on a ride along in Wheaton, and we were coming out to dinner with a couple of officers, and a person walked up and he just said thank you. And as he walks away, the officer said to me, "We don't hear that very often." And so I have two recommendations to you if you want to help celebrate National Public Safety Awareness Day. Number one, say thank you to a uniform or non-uniform responder, whether it's today or go to a coffee with a cop or visit a local fire station. Number two, do something that's going to make their job easier. And what I mean by that is close before you doze, check your smoke alarms. If you see something, say something. If you see someone who's struggling and is in crisis and you think they may harm themselves or others, we all bear a responsibility for public safety. It's much better to prevent an issue from happening than expecting them to risk their lives running into a burning building or into an active situation and trying to rescue a person and putting their life at risk. And so if you really want to appreciate our first responders and our public safety professionals, do the work in advance, help us, help the system, and we can all be better for it. Thank you.
All right, we'll proceed with our proclamation. Whereas we are proud to honor our more than 4,000 dedicated public safety personnel, including our law enforcement, fire and rescue, and public safety telecommunicators in Montgomery County, and celebrate each and every one of them today. And
whereas in an emergency, our officers, firefighters, first responders, mobile crisis outreach teams, the Street Outreach Network, and our 911 telecommunicators are integral to the safety of our residents, and prompt response is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And
whereas Montgomery County is the proud home of dedicated public safety personnel who put their lives on the line to keep our residents safe, and we appreciate the extraordinary efforts and sacrifices made 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to protect our community. And
whereas public safety is the heart and soul of our community, and we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to those who serve to protect our residents and their families. And
whereas Public Safety Appreciation Day is an opportunity to bring our hardworking public safety employees together to thank them for their selflessness and dedication in improving the safety and well-being of our public.
now therefore it be resolved, the County Executive Mark Elridge, Public Safety Committee Chair Sidney Katz, and members Dawn Luedtke and Kristen Mink, and the entire County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland, hereby recognize Public Safety Appreciation Day, presented today, and it's signed by the County Executive, by myself, by Councilmember Luedtke and Mink, and the President of the County Council, Andrew Friedson. Congratulations and thank you all. Yeah, Sheriff, you guys are thank you.